Hi, and welcome to Just Right of Center, the podcast where common sense still has a voice, conversation still matters, and the middle ground, it's still worth standing on. I'm your host, a moderately conservative man who believes in honest talk, steady perspective, and finding clarity in a noisy world. Let's get into it. So, hello and welcome everyone to the very first episode of Just Right of Center. I am really glad that you're here. Starting something new always feels a little bit like stepping onto a porch that you've never stood on before. You're not sure how sturdy it is, but you trust it enough to take the first step. So, doing a podcast has been on my mind for quite a while, a long time, for as a matter of fact. And I've watched the world get louder, faster, and more divided through time. And I thought to myself, where is the space for people who aren't shouting? Where's the space for people who want to think and not just react? That's what this podcast is meant to be, a steady place in a very noisy world. Now, we live in a world where the volume is always turned up. Every headline feels urgent, every debate feels personal, and every conversation seems to happen at the extremes. But most of us, people like you and me, we don't live on the far edges. We live somewhere in the middle. And maybe we lean a little right, maybe we lean a little left. But either way, most of us are grounded in common sense, real world experience, and a desire to understand what's actually going on. With this podcast, I wanted to create a space where we can talk about the world without shouting, a place where we can disagree without being enemies, where curiosity is welcome and where moderately conservative or liberal doesn't make you the villain in someone else's story. I wanted to create a space where we can engage in respectful conversation, where we can share different points of view without pointing fingers and name calling or hateful rhetoric. And who knows? We all might actually learn something if we actually take the time to listen. Now, this podcast, it's not about preaching. It's not about converting anybody to believe the way I do. It's about thinking out loud, asking good questions, and having respectful and intelligent conversations that feel like sitting on a porch with a friend, even when we don't agree with everything that they say. Now, I'm not sure how you got here, how you came to this page, but welcome. Maybe you're a friend or a family member who's just here to support my new venture. I appreciate that. Maybe you did a web search and you clicked on a link that brought you here, or maybe you wound up here completely by accident. But regardless of how you got here, welcome. Now, I'm sure that most of you have the same first question. Who the hell is this guy? Well, let me introduce myself. I'm John. I'm a husband, a father, a grandfather, a friend, a neighbor, and someone who spent a lot of time paying attention to the world around me. Born in Ohio, grew up in Pennsylvania, and I spent the better part of the past 40 years living in the South, splitting time between South Carolina, Georgia, and Mississippi. So I've seen a lot, and well, I've learned a lot. I grew up in a time when you could disagree with someone and still go fishing with them the next morning, regardless of what you thought or believed. You could talk through tough issues without losing your job, your friends, your family, or your sanity. And I think we need to get back to that. Or at least we need to try. I'm a 60 something boomer, a Christian, a military veteran, moderately conservative white man who believes in traditional values. See, boomer, Christian, veteran, conservative, Republican, straight white man. By today's standard, that makes me the devil, doesn't it? It seems that everything going wrong in today's world is being blamed on people like me. Well, I'm here to tell you, we are not as evil as we are being made out to be. I'm not that bad. I welcome you to stick around and find out for yourself. Disagreeing does not make either one of us wrong or evil. Differing opinions are the foundation of conversation, not hate. Being moderately conservative is not a bad thing. It means I value tradition, responsibility, and stability. but it also means I'm willing to listen and willing to learn and willing to admit when something needs to change. I'm not here to defend every Republican idea or attack every Democratic one. I'm here to talk about what makes sense and what doesn't from a grounded, thoughtful perspective. So let's talk about what this show is actually going to cover because life is not just about politics. Thank God. We're going to talk about world news and current events, not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that helps you understand what's happening and why it matters to all of us. We're going to talk about sports and entertainment because sometimes, well, you just need a break from all the heavy stuff. There's far more to life than just serious stuff. So why not enjoy it? We're going to talk about health and education, real conversations about how we live, how we learn, and how we take care of ourselves and our families. What's good and what's bad. And yeah, we're going to talk about politics too, but not with shouting, not with insults, and not with blind loyalty. Just honest talk from a moderately conservative perspective, grounded in respect and reality. So, as we get started, we need to be honest with ourselves. Conversations today are tough. People don't talk to each other anymore. They talk at each other. They talk past each other. They talk to score points, to win some argument. They talk to emphasize their point and condemn any opposing opinions. Conversations today are one sided and they're not had to understand or to learn. True communication requires both sides to be able to share. It's not a shouting contest. Unfortunately, social media has turned every disagreement into a battlefield where people post nasty things about everyone with a different opinion. They verbally attack each other, and some of it is it's absolutely horrendous. It's just pure evil. Mainstream media and news networks, they've turned every story into a crisis, every issue into a threat to our democracy, a threat to our freedom, and someone being oppressed or discriminated against. But they only tell part of the story, the part that supports their own ideology. It's never the whole truth. And politicians, well, they've turned everything into a campaign ad, an ugly practice where they exponentially exaggerate the faults of their opponents and emphasize their political policies that they think people want to hear. It's just words. And put clearly, they lie to make themselves look better. But here's the truth: most people are not extremists. Most people were not living or trying to destroy the country. Most people aren't living in the political cage match that we see online. We're just caught up in it because the alternatives are few and far between. Most people are just trying to live their lives the best that they can. And it's not that easy anymore. So, what can you expect from me as your host and from this podcast going forward? You can expect straight talk. You can expect steady perspective and you can expect honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. You can expect humor on occasion because if we can't laugh at ourselves, we're doomed. You can expect curiosity because I don't pretend to have all the answers. I'm here to learn as much as I am here to share, and I need your help with that. Some episodes will be serious, some more serious than others. Some will be a lot lighter. Some will challenge the way we think, and that's a good thing. But every episode will be honest, straightforward, and respectful, and hopefully a little insightful. Let me give you a taste of what's coming in future episodes. We'll talk about the state of the world, from global conflicts to economic trends and cultural shifts. We'll talk about foreign policies and how they affect us here at home. We'll talk about the future of education and the past. Talk about what's working, what's broken, what needs to change. The future of our children and our nation depends on it. We'll talk about health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, and how we can take better care of ourselves and each other. We'll talk about sports, the big games, the big controversies, the big personalities, and how they impact our everyday lives. We'll talk about entertainment, movies, music, streaming, social media, and how all of it shapes our culture in both good and bad ways. They're entertainers, man. That doesn't make them role models. It does not make them smarter or more influential than the rest of us. They just have a bigger stage. And yes, we will talk about politics too. We'll discuss the important issues and policies that impact us every day, but we'll do it respectfully, thoughtfully, without all the nonsense. So, thank you again for joining me for day one, first episode, the introduction. I'm excited to build this space, a place where conversation still matters, where curiosity is welcome, and where being just right or left of center isn't something to apologize for. If you enjoyed the conversation, just follow me, subscribe, share the show with a friend, regardless of their political affiliation, and join me next time as we keep searching for that steady space, just right of center. And get ready because, hey, we've got a lot to talk about. So thanks for spending a little time with me today. I look forward to next time. Feel free to comment and provide your opinions and point of view. Just please be respectful. And as always, remember your opinion matters. Even if you don't agree with me, it doesn't mean you're wrong. I'm just right of center. Take care, stay grounded, and I'll see you on next week's episode.